Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. There's breaking development pouring in. There are fresh updates on the Pushpa 2 chaos where 10 cases have now been registered till now against Allu Arjun fans for abusing Chief Minister Revanth Reddy and other big leaders on social media platforms. After Allu Arjun's arrest, the Hyderabad Cybercrime Police has registered cases on Allu Arjun's fans under IT Act after complaints were lodged against them. Allu Arjun's fans have been accused of using abusive language against the Chief Minister and other big leaders on social media platforms, including on X and Instagram, after the arrest of Allu Arjun. Now, Hyderabad Police's cybercrime unit has mailed social media platforms to provide details of the accounts which abused Revanth Reddy and other leaders. Raj Kiran on the telecast with me. Raj Kiran, this is a big development. There have been a number of people that have been arrested. This after they went about abusing the Chief Minister of Telangana, Revanth Reddy, and other political leaders.
Yes, Hyderabad Cybercrime Police have almost 10 cases has been registered on Allu Arjun fans who abuses the Revanth Reddy and the other Congress leaders who have spoke against the Allu Arjun at the time of arrest on a Sampe case which took place on 4th of December. The Cybercrime Police have asked this social media platform where the abusing words was seen by the local Congress leader who have gave complaint to Cybercrime Police. So they have asked the details of the persons who used the abusive words against the CM Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy and the other senior Congress leaders who spoke against the Allu Arjun at the time of arrest. So now almost 10 cases registered till now, and more cases are when I spoke to the higher officials, police officials, they said that more cases will be launched after we are inquiring into the details. We are trying to get in touch with the social media networking channels and trying to grab the information on it.
Inquiries that have been instituted against the police officers because of their lackadaisical attitude and incompetence for ensuring security and police officers, deployment of police officers to ensure stampede did not take place at the venue.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Sorry,
has there been any police officer or a DCP or the police commissioner been pulled up for the stampede that took place because the police could not provide enough police officers to ensure that there was law and order ensured for the safety of the people who were gathered there on that particular day?
Yes, exactly. The Hyderabad police have written a letter to the Sandhya Theatre management on 3rd of December, stating that we cannot provide the security because the heavy crowd will be coming to see the Allu Arjun, and they have requested the Sandhya Theatre management not to ask to come the Allu Arjun and the Pushpa stars who are going to come at the Sandhya Theatre. They have requested in a letter, but however, after that also the Sandhya Theatre did not inform the Allu Arjun team. So Allu Arjun came on the 4th of December where the stampede took place, in which one woman died on the spot.
Thanks for giving me that information. Unfortunately, while there have been arrest warrants that have been issued against Allu Arjun's fans, there has no inquiry been conducted under the with regards to whether the Hyderabad police was incompetent in ensuring there was safety and security ensured for the people who gathered in large numbers at Sandhya Theatre on that particular day. Now, days after Atul Subhash died in the tragic suicide that obviously shocked the entire country, the wife of Atul Subhash and his mother-in-law have been arrested. Now, in a statement given to the police by Atul's wife, she goes about saying that it was Atul who used to harass her and manhandled her while coming home drunk. He forced her to quit her job to take care of the child, and due to no change in his behavior towards her, she decided to file for divorce. She also said that she filed other legal cases on advice of her lawyers. Meanwhile, NewsX has accessed Atul Subhash's 34 tasks that he made a checklist of before he committed suicide, which include paying all dues and sending messages to his family members and lawyers and the President of India while demanding justice and the focus on men's rights. Now, in fact, the fact that there has been a detailed list of the tasks that had to be completed by Atul Subhash right before the time that he decided to commit suicide. Let's take a look at all those tasks, because he has been very meticulous in the 2 days that he had scheduled for himself for completing the number of tasks that he had assigned himself, including paying bills, including sending out messages, last conversations with his family members, also reaching out to authorities, to the judges, to the President of India herself, to then share his plight so that some action is taken and there can be some movement in favor of his case, even as he committed suicide. In fact, he planned his day for the last 2 days before he decided to commit suicide, and this is before the last day, where the first task was to initiate the last day, to decide when is it going to be the day when he commits suicide. After that, he decided to take certain other steps where he decided to pack important documents, finish the legal assignments, finish office tasks, compile all communications, book data and other miscellaneous tasks that he had to complete. So these were the mundane, regular tasks, routine tasks that he decided to complete. So even when he decided to commit suicide, he was meticulous enough to finish all his tasks so as not to be an encumbrance to his office, to the manager who he reported to his family members as well. There was completion of legal preparations. If we can move forward, and these were a number of these, amongst these 8 tasks that he had lined up for himself. This was day before, on the eve of the day that he was going to commit suicide, he decided to finish all these tasks. Let's move on to the last day, when he decided to put out a number of these tasks that he had to fulfill. All right, so like I said, we have already gone through all these tasks, finishing off his office tasks, finishing legal preparations, packing of important documents. Can we please move forward, because this has already been spoken about at length, and let's take a look at what happened on the last day, particularly with regards to the video that he wanted to post, that 80-minute video that he had recorded. He wanted to post it out on the public forum, and that was also meticulously penned down draft that had been made, and after which there was a decision taken as to at what time he is going to release that video. There was also a long document, the last letter that he wrote to his family members, a public appeal also that was made with regards to the number of tasks, in a very meticulous way that he decided to put out all information to build his case against his wife for the allegations he makes with regards to mental harassment, extortion, not allowing him to meet his son, the leveling of charges that have been made by Atul Subhash. And let's take a look at this. All right. So again, the 6th task was to take backup of data, which was the videos, the emails that he had sent out to all and sundry, like I said, to the President of the country, to his lawyers, to the judges, to his family members as well. So this was all a compilation that he did. Let's take a look at what happened on the last day, when he decided to make up a list of things, tying all strings before he actually decided to end his life. Can we please move on to the next slide? All right, so these are the tasks that were put out by him to decide as to how much time he is going to allocate for each of these things that needed to be completed. After having looked at these pointers, I am going to bring in my guests with whom I am going to have a conversation about this. Advocate R.K. Singh, he's a Supreme Court lawyer. Advocate Singh, now what does this indicate? This list of tasks that he completed over the course of 48 hours before he committed suicide, what does this indicate?
Thank you, Megha, for inviting me. Megha, to tell you the truth, in my legal memory can you please hear me?
I can.
In my legal memory or otherwise also, a conscious society has never seen such a disciplined attempt to commit a suicide. This is something bizarre. It has really shocked the conscience of the prudent society, whereby a young boy, out of some mitigating circumstances, has taken such a sure shot and absolutely committed attempt to commit a suicide, and the manner in which he has committed the suicide, it is something, unbelievable. Prudent minds cannot believe it, that a person who must be so disturbed prior to the act was entailing so many great and so many micro disciplined things, and have been doing everything and checklisting it, making it done. So that leaves one question, big question to be answered, that certainly this boy must have been a very disciplined person in his personal life. That goes without saying. So, in that case, a boy having such a disciplined life or disciplined attitude towards the life, why he has been compelled to commit suicide? Because you have to understand two things. Admittedly, there are two factors which were making him worrisome. First, the judicial attitude, the judicial delays, and the cases which has been filed against him, the demand for the money, and the behavior of her in-laws. Now, Megha, I'll tell you one thing with all certainty. As a lawyer, it should be the duty of every lawyer in this country that prior to being a professional, they also must act as a psychiatrist, sociologist, counselors. Because sometimes what we do, that because of our busyness, because of our involvement in the cases, we tend to ignore the human concern of a litigant. Because these are the cases where a young boy or young girl is so much mentally disturbed. If we treat them like a routine case, then certainly we are not helping them. So I must advise and request all my fellow lawyers, so please kindly treat such cases as your friend, that
Okay.
you are a friend of the litigant, right?
Yeah,
Please.
Okay. All right. Dr. Kapil Kakkar is a psychologist and he's joining me on the telecast as well. Dr. Kakkar, when we take, does it come as a shock that he has actually prepared a list of all the work that he had to complete? The most mundane of the tasks, like paying the bills, electricity bill, rent, and so on and so forth. He goes about saying that he has finished all the work that was assigned to him at work. He has sent out mails to his family members, to his compatriots. He has gone and sent out mails to his lawyers, to his legal team. He has also reached out to the President of India. This is then to be understood as a case that he is making, that he is going to die, he has made this conscious decision, but after his death, this case should not be sidelined. This case should not become dormant. What should happen is that awareness be created, that his side be heard, and action be taken so that justice prevails.
See, I don't know whether to say it's a shock, it's a surprise, but it is a definite frustration which has resulted that he has internalized it, that yes, I have made a decision that I'm going to take my life because I have lost to judiciary, I have lost to the judge, I have lost to the entire system. And that is when he made a conscious decision, then he made a meticulous, organized, professional, responsible planning to see it is executed. So once his target was there, that this is what I'm going to do on day 3, whatever day it was, so he had followed up with every minute detail to the extent that I was reading that when he's about to die, before that he's going to keep all the keys on the fridge or on the refrigerator. He's going to open all the windows, close the door. He's going to write to his boss before that. So every inch of little thing which he did, it clearly showed he was a professional who was very duty bound, who knew his responsibilities, who knew what had to be done. But however, unfortunately, I am taking this courage to say he lost to an unprofessional system and judiciary. A judiciary in a country, because why I'm saying this was, few months back, I think 5, 6 months back, a father came to me. He came to me with a son. He wanted an assessment to be done on his son because it was a custody battle, right? And when I said, okay, what has been the case so far? He told me that he had met a psychologist 2 years back. There was a report which he had submitted to the Saket court, family court, and the judge did not open that sealed envelope for 1 year. Then he had to go in appeal to the High Court. When High Court instructed it to the lower court to open that envelope, High Court itself was shocked. Is whatever the psychologist had said was written. So my point is, well, we are just talking about how things are, but if you are in a legal battle, it becomes extremely cumbersome for somebody who is fighting at 4, 5, 6 fronts, and then he decides to take his life. A person who was so meticulous, so organized, and like what I heard when you said that that his wife had taken suggestions from the lawyer, and he was accused that he was a drunkard, and all those kind of allegations which normally happen, which obviously are also enabled by the lawyers. It clearly suggests that what kind of pain this guy would have gone when somebody knows he's not guilty of doing anything, and he's termed as a wife beater, he's termed as a violent, and imagine the character assassination which goes in the court. Aapne kuch kiya nahi, you haven't done anything. And it's not proven. But in front of a judge, when the opposite party is doing an incessant, ruthless character assassination, and the judge is listening, what do you think it would have gone and done to him? And this is the reality of Indian judiciary and Indian system, where I have so many people coming to me in the matrimonial. And one more thing I'd like to say for the benefit of your viewers, I had a case where there was a dispute between husband and wife, and that husband and wife were the daughter-in-law and son of a High Court judge. And the High Court judge wanted that the dispute should be settled out of court. Because the judges, the legal system, everybody knows when something goes inside the court, what each and every person has to endure. And especially when we have a lopsided laws in favor of the woman, a man is a mere spectator, a man who has not seen his son for 2 years. I have so many. So I had another case.
Absolutely. Let me also get Rohit Kumar. And Rohit, what's your opinion with regards to the amendments, modifications that are required when it comes to the recourse that individuals, men can take when it comes to these complicated disputes in marital relations? We are at this point of time at no given situation, in no condition to pass judgment in favor of Atul or in favor of the wife and her family members. But the revelations that are being made from Atul's side are shocking. And obviously, that's exactly why the entire country is talking about this today.
Thank you for giving the time, Megha, and also good evening to all my fellow panelists. As you rightly pointed out, that it's a very unfortunate situation where a person has lost his life, and it's not a step that is undertaken out of an outburst of an emotion. He was a very practical man, and that can be seen through the entire document that he has put up with his task list. Each day has been chalked out into steps that he's going to undertake. It's a very difficult situation for a man to, from a middle class family, that's how men are brought up in most cases, where for them, they prioritize their career, they prioritize their family, they have to put everything together to be able to, have a life where they are able to meet their responsibilities. because that's when they would be accepted by the society, as a man who is taking care of everything. But then the plight of men begins when he is faced with these false allegations, these stories that are built up by lawyers, where he is not able to you know sustain himself and prove that he is innocent to it, and he has to run around in the courts dealing with these. Uh, we are not here to pass judgments, as you said. We cannot judge things, but usually in most cases we see the kind of apathy that he faces when the lawmakers or even the presiding officers, uh, they completely ignore the side that a man has to put up. It's more about accept what the wife is saying, or whatever the demands are, they are brought up. In terms of the child visitation, he has to pay up. Like in the case of Atul, he had not seen his son for the past 2 years. While he was asked to pay 40,000, his salary being 85,000, right? He's paying part of it, and that's okay for the child. And then another petition was moved in, where an increment was requested or asked to be made. And,
Right. Right.
it-
All
it-
those,
it-
yes, all
it
those
is-
discrepancies at this point of time in the case that has been very, step by step, systematically built by the family of his estranged wife. So questions at this point of time are left for all to answer, for the lawyers, for the courts, and of course, if amendments are to be made in the law of our country. Advocate R.K. Singh, now, if you could, tell us what is the bias that we see in terms of the laws that have been made that are in favor of the woman and not in favor of the husband. Because, one such law comes into mind is that even if, a woman was having an extramarital affair, and the husband really did not have any right to actually file a case against her.
Because to tell you the truth, now after this suicide, there is a discourse which is going on in this country. The discourse has come to gender discrimination vis-a-vis the law. But that is not the actual situation. We must have to understand Atul's case or some few other cases like Atul may have been an exception. But for that matter, women remains today one of the greatest victims of matrimonial violence. Now, monetization of marriage is not something new. It has existed since the time immemorial when the marriage itself as an institution was conceived and delivered to the society. Now, from dowry to alimony, a big question as of now is that are the laws sufficient, or the women are treating marriage as a alimony extracting agency? I'll say no. That is
Right.
not the question. That is not the question. Our courts are conscious enough while granting relief to the women to weigh upon the needs of the women, the needs of the children. You just cannot brush aside that by mere suicide has changed the entire gambit of the things. No, it is absolutely not. We would not be doing justice to the cause of the women, because in the matrimonial disputes still, if the suicide has to be taken as a yardstick, then Megha, I am telling you with all authority that in matrimonial cases, women remains one of the biggest index of percentage whereby they commit suicide or have been killed in matrimonial disputes.
That's true.
So let's not to be overburdened and overjoyed and jump the bandwagon. The issue is far
absolutely.
larger.
As you rightly mentioned that, the percentage of women who are burnt alive, there's marital rape, domestic violence, mental harassment and stress that they have to take is much larger. So we 1 in 100 cases where a man at this point of time, in a case such as this, in terms of the claims that are being made by Atul Subhash, is under duress. But at the same time, even if there is a minuscule percentage of men who are suffering from such kind of domestic abuse, what legal recourse do they have? And can these recourse, then can this recourse, can the laws be amended for their benefit, ensuring that they are not taken undue advantage of?
Look, Megha, the situation as of now is that matrimonial laws are those laws. Once an incident happened between the couple, the matrimonial laws comes into action. But so far as men are concerned, as of now, there is no specific law which concerns the men in particular. Whenever we make law, we try to make it gender neutral. I mean, we have to understand that the judiciary is conscious enough not to stretch the gambit too far to protect the man at the cost of the woman. The judiciary and the judges are conscious enough, they are judicious enough that while dealing with the matrimonial situation, they absolutely, and they have this tendency, and they have been born and brought up in the judicial system to see to it that neither of the sides should be victimized.
Okay.
With exception, I am telling you.
Okay, all right.
But
All right.
unfortunately,
Fair enough. On that note, I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast and sharing your very important views on the subject. I'll take a short break. Thanks for watching NewsX.